So hello everyone, and we have to study about the PHBV in this, right? So what is PHB? This PHB is basically produced by the fermentation of the glucose by the bacterium. It's not too much important. What is important is this structure. What is the structure of polyhydroxybutyrate? This is the structure of the polyhydroxybutyrate. Okay. So here you can see this. This is your PHB. In PHB, you have to remember this structure. What is the structure of PHB and what are its properties? So this is brittle, highly crystalline in water, highly crystalline, soluble in water, non-toxic polymer, and it is a relatively resistant to the hydrolytic degradation. Okay, it shows the good O2 permeability and is rapidly biodegradable. It is a low extension to break the property and high melting temperature. So these are the properties of PHB that you have to remember. The next biodegradable polymer that we have to study is PHB. So PHB, this is the structure of PHB, that is polyhydroxyvalerate. Okay, so in this what you have to remember is what's the full form and structure and its few properties. Okay, so these are the two, and with these two we have what the next is polyhydroxybutyrate and hydroxyvalerate, which is PHBHB. Okay, so in PHB, okay, we have studied about the PHB, right? And we have studied about the PHB. So these are two added. Addition of the hydroxyvalerate to the polymer leads to the several improvement in the properties as follows. So the properties which we studied earlier, they have a few limitations. That's why we mix these two, and with these we get a we get the improvement in the properties. Okay, so the drop in the melting temperature, reduction in average crystallinity, increased flexibility, so this is basically not much important. You should learn what's the important is application and its properties. So what are the properties of the PHBV? So these are the properties. Polymer flexibility, toughness increases, melting point reaches to let me continue from where I stopped. I stopped from here. PHB. Okay, polyhydroxybutyrate, PHBHB. This is also known as PHBV. We have studied till what are the improvements in the properties when we added these two. Okay, there was an improvement in the properties. Okay, then when the improvement done, then we have to study about the what are its physical properties. Physical properties means what? Toughness, flexibility, all that. So here it is. So you can see this polymer flexibility, toughness increases, melting point reaches minimum, and allows flexibility, tensile strength and melting point. Then resistance of the PHB or to the oils very good. Moisture resistance and impermeable, susceptible hydrolysis above the pH 9 and below pH 3. Okay, so these are the main properties of the PHBV, which is made up of these two. Right now, how the biodegradation of PHBV is done? Here it is written. But the main thing that we have to study, you can read this. Okay, how the biodegradation is done, but the main thing that we have to study is the application of PHBV. What are the application? Basically the same application as a biodegradable polymer have. Medical applications, controlled drug delivery, and here we have a disposal, personal hygiene and packaging. Okay, so this is the second type of polymer that we covered. Now we have to cover the third type of polymer, that is. So in conducting polymer, we have to study about the doped, intrinsically conducting polymers, and doped, extrinsically conducting polymers. So this is similar to the semiconductors that you have studied, and in which we will also study about the example, which is polyacetylene preparation, properties and its applications. So यहाँ पे है हमारे पास कंडक्टिंग पॉलीमर्स. इनमें सबसे पहली बात ये होते क्या है? So the polymers that conduct electricity is the conducting polymers. Simple. So this is the main definition. The conducting polymers have been synthesized within the past several years. Possess conductivity comparable. So this is all the definition, but the main definition is conducting electricity. So in which we have to study with the three intrinsically doped, doped and extrinsically doped. Okay, so let's study that. So what are the intrinsically intrinsically conducting polymers? So these are also known as conjugated pi electrons conducting polymers. And what is the definition? Some polymers that conduct electricity of their own because of their structure features, such as polymers, are known as intrinsically conducting polymers. So what is the structure requirement for these polymers? The structure is that it should be linear and have the high planarity, and it should possess the conjugation, because conjugation is the main factor which is responsible for the conduction of electricity. So this is what the trans polyacetylene, this is the polyaniline, this is polyparylene. So these are the examples of intrinsically conducting polymers, right? And conductivity can also be observed in the aromatic, heteroaromatic systems to delocalized electrons, and that's why I mentioned here that the conjugation is important. Okay, so here if the conjugation is happening and all the requirements are fulfilled, then these are also the examples: polypyrrole, polythiophene. Okay, now the next type of conducting polymer is the doped conducting polymers. So what are the doped conducting polymers? So basically doped conducting polymers, these are the intrinsically conducting polymers that possess low conductivity, and to avoid this low conductivity we add few impurities in this, and that is known as doping. That also happens in semiconductors. So it's similar to that p doping and n doping. Okay, so in p doping, that doping of ICP is what? Intrinsically conducting polymers, and when these are doped with the Lewis acid, right? Lewis acid के साथ डोप करने के बाद इन जो भी पॉलीमर हमारे इम्प्रूव होके आता है, that is known as or doped conducting polymers, p doped, n doped, जो भी आप कहते हैं, right? So this is the reaction that happens. So this is what polyacetylene, this is your Lewis acid, oxidation happens and you get this, right? So this is what the p doping. And similarly in n doping, what happens? In n doping you add Lewis base to the intrinsically conducting polymers, and when it is added, the resultant polymer is your n doped polymer. So Lewis base like lithium, sodium metal, naphthyl, amines, these are the n dopants which are used. So this is again the polyacetylene that we have took before, and we are adding with this sodium metal, reduction is happening here and we're getting this, right? So this is what the n doping of the intrinsically conducting polymers. The third type that we have to study is the extrinsically conducting polymers. So these are the polymers whose conductivity is achieved because of externally added ingredients in them, and it can be achieved in the two ways. So basically this is your conductive element filled polymer and blended conducting polymers. When you add external ingredient in the polymer, then the extrinsically conducting polymers form. So in conductive element filled polymers, you are filling the conducting elements such as metallic fibers, metal oxides, carbon black, and these are mixed with this polymer. So the polymer during the molding process, polymer acts as a binder and holds the conducting elements. Okay, so this is what a conductive element filled when conductive element is filled. So conducting plastic containing the carbon black finds uses in the wire and cables, and these are basically used for the conduction of the electricity in wires and other places, right? Then the next is your blended conducting polymer. So these are obtained by the blending conducting polymer with the conventional polymer or physically or chemically. What does it mean? It means that जो हमारे पास पहले वाले polymers थे that we used, उनको हम क्या करते हैं, उनको blend करते हैं अपने polymers के साथ, तो जो हमें polymer resulting मिलता है, that is your blended conducting polymers, right? So what